Hey guys, what is up? It is your friendly neighborhood Uber Goose here, back again with another Isaac Breaking Run. This time we're starting with Death's Touch. So let's go! Let's do it! Let's play the feed. I don't know. So I streamed last night, and I had a very interesting discussion on stream about game balance, because I was streaming Hearthstone, and one of the main beliefs of most people, I don't know about most, a large amount of people who play Hearthstone right now, is that the game is imbalanced, and that, for example, the Patron Warrior deck is too powerful. And what I find interesting is that the Patron Warrior deck is literally, like, from a statistical standpoint, the farthest thing away from imbalanced as possible. In fact, it's tier 1, right? But that's where the interesting conversation arose. So basically, Patron Warrior, Grim Patron Warrior combo is it's a pretty cool deck. It's essentially just a combo deck that can win in one turn. And because in Hearthstone, unlike Magic the Gathering, there's really nothing you can do to respond on your opponent's turn. When it's your opponent's turn, it's their time to shine. So people kind of get the feel-bads when they lose in one turn to Patron Warrior. Although every one of Patron Warrior's one-turn kills requires, you know, a multiple turns of setup and like 5 to 10 spells on the combo turn to do it. Or 5 to 10 cards, excuse me. So it's pretty finicky, is the thing, right? And most people who claim that there's any imbalance going on are probably just biased because they don't like losing to the deck, which is an understandable standpoint to take. However, the deck has literally, like, within the perfect ideal range of a, you know, a balanced deck in terms of win rate. It's like a little under 50% to a little over 50% depending on the matchup. That's it. Some matchups, of course, are better. Overall, though, it is very, very close to a 50% win rate, which in a game based on 1v1s, and, you know, you can... There's a lot of ways that you can play the game. Having 50% win rate doesn't make something broken. In fact, that makes it balanced, in my opinion. And then the other argument is, well, everybody's playing Patron Warrior. You either play Patron Warrior or you counter it, which is also not true. Because currently in the metagame, Patron Warrior is around 10% represented. 10%. That ain't shit. I've been reading a lot about, like, Hearthstone history, if you will, like, things that have happened in the past with Hearthstone, because I'm relatively new to the game. Like, I've been playing for what, like 2 weeks? No, that's unfortunate. So, you know, I've been reading about it, and stuff like the original Unleash the Hounds, well, maybe not the original, but the most broken iteration of Unleash the Hounds, and whatever the fucking Buzzard's name is, where Buzzard is like, it was a 2-mana 2/1 that whenever you summoned a beast, you draw a card. Unleash the Hounds was a 2-mana for every creature your opponent has, make a 1/1 beast, essentially. And so, because it was summoned and not played from hand, you would, for 4 mana, which is incredibly low cost, you would clear your opponent's board, more or less, as well as draw your deck. Oh, that's the other thing, is that the beast had charge. And the thing is, right, pretty much that deck made up like 50% of the metagame or something like that. That's a broken deck. That's imbalance, right? Patron Warrior 10%, 50% win rate. That's not imbalance. That falls pretty well within the lines of balance, in my opinion. And that's kind of, I wanted to, like, kind of, you know, highlight this discussion and maybe extend it to you guys about how, you know, what do you guys consider balance, you know, in a gaming sense? Because my personal opinion about balance is, if the metagame is diverse, which is in and of itself kind of it's not like quantifiable, you know, a diverse metagame. It's kind of subjective, but for the most part, you know, that's like the best way to describe it, right? Is that it's diverse. And you know, other than that, it's like a per game sort of specific part, right? Like what is diverse is game specific, but the idea of diversity is universal, right? So my opinion is diverse metagame with no deck being, you know, overwhelmingly overrepresented. And I guess again, this is fairly subjective, but it's again it's on a game by game basis, I think. And also, everything has a relatively reasonable win rate. So the person that I was having this discussion with on my stream kept insisting, well, it's tier 1, so it's broken. But the thing is, right, in order for a video game to exist, you know, in video games or even card games or anything like this, they all have tiers. That's just a thing that's part of them, right? The best thing is always going to be tier 1. The difference between the best and the worst thing is the you know, different part. Every game will have a tier 1, right? And it'll always, the tier 1 will be the best, right? But that doesn't make the tier 1 broken. And if it did, then that would make every single game that possibly even could exist imbalanced, right? Which is a bit ridiculous to me. But that's basically the question, is what do you guys think makes a game balanced? Because a lot of people are getting super pissed about Hearthstone stuff, because the Patron Warrior deck is a one-turn kill combo deck, which people's main argument is the fact that, well, Blizzard has nerfed those before, which is true, but at the end of the day, correlation does not equal causation. The decks that they have nerfed... Oh, actually, I want this one. The decks that they have nerfed were, in fact, one-turn kill combo decks, but they were also an overwhelmingly represented in the metagame. Like, upwards of 50% or more of the metagame. That's broken. 10% is not, right? So, and the other deck, by the way, there was the Unleash the Hounds Hunter, as well as, I don't know if the Undertaker deck was 50%, but everybody was pretty unanimous in saying that that fucking card was not a fair one, when it was initially released. But there was also a Miracle Rogue deck, which I still hate the use of Miracle. Like, I understand what Miracle Rogue is, but Miracle itself, the word just doesn't, like, it doesn't describe anything. It's just kind of in there. It's just kind of an extra afterthought or something. And so somebody was like, oh man, Miracle sounds cool, and then just fucking threw it in the deck name. And every time I've asked somebody to, like, explain what it means, what Miracle means in the name, they're like, duh, 'cause you draw cards? Like, no, nobody can actually give me the actual reason, which I find funny. But the Miracle Rogue deck, the reason it was ridiculous is because you would get very high, you know, one-turn kill potential. I mean, what's the downside to blowing this up, right? You'd get very high one-turn kill potential using Leroy Jenkins, who, ooh, god, that seems real good, doesn't it? You'd use Leroy Jenkins, who at the time was a 4-mana 6/2 that, when he, with Battle Cry, that he would summon 2 1/1 whelps on the other side. And the reason that was ridiculous is because he was just too cheap. He cost too little mana, and what you would do, you'd combine it with rogue spells to make him deal, like, you know, 12 damage, and then because he had charge as well, which means he can attack on the turn that he summoned, you'd pick him up with, there was a rogue spell that would return a friendly minion to your hand. It's still around. It's 0 mana, return a friendly minion to your hand. He costs 3 less. And so you'd use that in combination with Leroy, who then, by the way, after you Shadow Step him, costs 1 mana. making it way easier to cast him multiple times. So every Shadow Step was essentially 6 damage. 0 mana, 6 damage. That seems broken, right? And that deck was also fairly close to 50% metagame. So it wasn't the only, you know, the Unleash the Hounds Hunter wasn't just that because it was Hunter. It's, you know. So yeah, they were both one-turn kill combo decks, but they were also just far too much of the metagame. And you can't really use the argument for Patron Warrior that, well, it costs too much, so clearly it's not part of the metagame because people have to spend too much money. That's just bullshit. That is the cheapest fucking deck in history. I built it. It costs like 500 dust or something. Shit's way cheap. You feel like if a deck is that, you know, unanimously broken and that cheap, more than 10% of the metagame would be playing it, right? Very, very interesting discussion to have, at least. So, I don't know, let me know what you guys think about what makes balance. Because I think it's perfectly reasonable to have things that are, like, very powerful in a metagame. I think it's fine, as long as there's ways to deal with it. And I also think that most people's own, you know, internal bias have a huge factor in the whole discussion of Patron Warrior specifically, because it's such an annoying deck to lose to, according to people who don't know how to play around it and stuff. And in fairness, there are situations where you can't play around it, but there are plenty of decks that already do that anyway, so I don't think that's a thing unique to Patron Warrior. For example, if you want to say Patron Warrior is broken, why not say Combo Druid is broken? Because Combo Druid can have pretty much the exact same burst in the exact same way, which is using Thaurissan to reduce the cost of your spells and then casting, you know, like 5 things on the same turn. That'll do it, right? That does it. I mean, it's the same thing, right? Yeah, but Druid spells are higher mana cost. It's irrelevant, though. If you can still do it with Thaurissan, then it's this, you know, it's the same thing. Anyway, and this is coming from a person who has a very long, I guess, drawn-out experience when it comes to competitive gaming. I've never been a professional gamer, like competing for large sums of money or anything. I did play, I don't know what you call semi-pro TF2, like not really semi-pro, like I don't know. I was a stand-in on a team that did like alright, I guess, and played in smaller tournaments and stuff. But I wasn't like, you know, actually making money doing it. Mostly because I was just like a stand-in or whatever, but I did play a few somewhat big games on that team. So I mean, like, you know, I have experienced the bullshit that most people are spouting nowadays. I've experienced that shit for ages. The whole, like, this is imbalanced because I lose to it, and blah, and this is unfun. If you're balancing your game around unfun mechanics, you're going to turn into League of Legends at some point. That's just going to happen. And, you know, obviously, if your only want in your game is to make money, maybe that's a good thing. I can save a key. I will save a key. Okay, these suck. Do I reroll though? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna. Fine. It's okay. Boss room. Sweet. We at least have like 2 more rooms, so I can be let on and hope and pray that I have enough rooms to reroll. Actually, I should have enough rooms to reroll the boss, almost assuredly. I thought I explored this floor way more than I already did. So we good. We Gucci. Alright. Oh, and by the way, if you guys ever want to, like, have a discussion about shit, again, I do read all the comments and whatever. I don't always respond to them, which I don't think is a big deal. But if you comment and it piques my interest, I'll absolutely fucking respond. No doubt about it. So if you want to, like, have a discussion about something that you think something that you'd be interested in hearing my point of view on, I'd be happy to chat. I do really like, I like conversations way more than trying to, like, sway people's opinions, I guess. I just like having the conversation. I like the back and forth sort of stuff. It's very enjoyable. Also, it's just refreshing to hear other points of view, you know? Sometimes. Sometimes. There are times where it's not refreshing at all and it's a fucking nightmare, but... I fucking hate this boss. Why do you bounce in ways that make no sense? Alright, 4 hits. Easy peasy. No probably easy. I actually don't give a shit about backtracking right now. Oh yeah, but about the conversation thing. The main thing I dislike is people who refuse to listen to reason or refuse to use reason within the conversation. That's the sort of thing that bothers me. So I will happily have a conversation with you about whatever the fuck you want, probably, as long as you listen to reason and or, well, preferably and also, you know, don't just, you know, formulate your opinion based on, like, emotion or something and then use that emotion to carry you through the conversation. That's the sort of thing that's very frustrating to deal with. Because there's no, like, actual conversation happening there. It's just one person shouting at the other and the other person trying to have a conversation frequently. And it's not that emotion is a complete negative thing when involved in conversation. It's just that, you know, if your stance comes from a point of emotion and the other person's comes from a point of reason, and then you refuse to use reason in the conversation, that's when it becomes a problem. The use of emotion to back up reasoning, or even, you know, there are ways to do it. That's definitely the truth. Four, actually? Really? Okay. I need a tear up real bad. You know what? I'm gonna take that. Even though it makes me, you know, miss a spirit heart and a key, there's a chance we get the money on this floor later. Not a great chance, apparently. There's a chance, though. And I'd rather have the extra trinket room, probably. I'm gonna see if this is the secret room. It feels like it might be. Nope, okay. Blow this up, though. Get the BAM. The BAM! Pin! You're gonna be up here. Yeah, you are. Filthy turd! Alright. Easy pin. Okay. So I'm not going to be able to reroll both the Deal with the Devil and the item room unless I find more money, which I could. I do have this arcade. Let's actually see what's up. I can get some money out of this bad boy. Doop, 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 doop. Look at that. We got money. So I can buy actually all 3 things that I want to buy in the shop. So let's see what happens. It's a magician. Thank God. Thank God. Holy crap, that was perfect. Everything worked out exactly as I could have. Probably better than I could have dreamed. You know what? I'm gonna go in here. Fuck it. 4. That rerolls pedestals. That's unfortunate. How unfortunate. Well, just hit it, you know? See, well, it rerolls pedestals and then shops get weird and fucky. So maybe we can actually make that real good. I've seen shops get rerolled in the fucking weirdest ways from the 4 room. Okay, didn't happen this time. That's fine. Don't care. Long hair don't care. I don't really care about the secret rooms, unfortunately, so let's just go. I'm a little too slow, it seems, to get to the thing. The boss rush, that's what it's called, the thing. Well, hang on. Nice, made it. Ooh. Yeah. So I'm not guaranteed to get the deal with the devil, but you know what? I'm not even upset about it. If I don't get it, fuck it, dude. I got Blood of the Martyr. That's real good. Can you stop pooping so I can kill you? Thanks. How are you alive still? There we go. Fucking, oh my god, I hate you, Carrion Queen. I hate you. I hate you. I want you dead. Can you die? Please? Come on. Oh, come on! I missed you. Okay, alright, you killed yourself on spikes. It took me that fucking long to even hit you. And then instead of dying by my hand, you took the easy way out. I see it. I understand. Fuck you, Carrion Queen. Fuck you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Can you not just shift halfway across the room to me? There you are. Hello, Loki, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. I wish I remembered the rest of the lyrics. I actually really like that song. Funny story, because I fucking don't know shit about Simon and Garfunkel, when I was first talking about that song, I was playing it on stream, and I was like talking about that song because I added it to my playlist finally, after fucking, you know, years of saying I should add it to my playlist. I was talking about it, and he was like, what's his name? Paul Simon? Is that his name? He's part of Simon and Garfunkel. I didn't know. I was like, I like this version better than the, you know, than the Paul Simon version. And one of my friends is like, what the fuck are you on? Simon and he's part of it. But in fairness, this is something that, you know, in my defense, on Spotify there are 2 different versions, one by Paul Simon and one by Simon and Garfunkel. Yes, I now know that Paul Simon is the Simon of Simon and Garfunkel. It's just there are 2 different versions of the song. So, depending on how, you know, you thought I phrased it, I could be correct. But still. Maybe I should, you know, enjoy more Simon and Garfunkel. I don't know. That's like, I've heard a bunch of their music, and that's like the only song that I actually like by them. But I fucking love it. gotta clean up bloat real quick. Gotta take him out, you know. Take out the trash. How are you not dead? Okay, thank you. Oh, and the song, by the way, in case you have no clue just by, you know, part of the lyrics, the song is The Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel. Can you not shoot like a machine gun when I can't see you? Thanks. Alright. Okay. Gonna be way down here. Yep. Sweet. Knocked him off his stupid idiot horse. Get fucked. You know what's gonna be really upsetting? When I find out that there was a guppy item in the deal with the devil that I missed out by coming in here. Because I am one guppy item away from becoming guppy, so... By assembling my, my dead cat parts, taping them to my forehead and such. I know I've talked about it before, but like, how fucked up is the Isaac story? It's real fucked up, right? Like, it's some dark shit. And honestly, like, the guppy transformation part is probably one of the darker parts. You're running around your basement. Well, I guess it's not your basement, right? Because this is like in your imagination or something. Fuck this room, okay? Fuck it. Fuck this room. This room sucks ass. I don't want to be in this room anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to be here anymore. But yeah, you're in your imagination beating the shit out of all these weird things, right? All these fucking monsters that you made up in your head. While also in your head, probably it's probably like all in Isaac's imagination, including the, you know, my mom wants to kill me. Maybe I don't know. I'm not that great at speculating about, you know, religious sort of stuff. But I think maybe what happened was he read the story about what's his face? The guy who killed his son for God or whatever. Abraham? Is that who it was? Ah, fucking, I haven't read the Bible. He maybe read that story and then started getting freaked out because he's got like some variety of a paranoia depression disorder or something. So he started freaking out and thinking that his mom was gonna kill him or something. I don't know, man. Isaac's a fucked up kid. That's the only thing that I can really conclude. He tapes parts of his cat onto himself. That's why there's flies. The cat's dead. There's fucking, it produces flies because flies are like, oh man, dead animal. Let me just fucking climb all over it. I don't know. Thank God. Ah. Sure, that's pretty good. I don't know what I'm actually holding. What the fuck am I supposed to do? I don't know how long I'm gonna hold on to 2 diamonds, but... Fuck that room, dude. That's some fucking cockamamie bullshit. Alright, Guppy! Yes! 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 I don't think I need the collar, so I'm just gonna ignore it. Take this shit and let's go. I have now stapled my cat's head, an old hairball, and also just my entire dead cat to my body. And here we are. Sure. I don't need red hearts. I have the mom's purse. Finally found my second trinket, you know. Bam. Ba-dunk. I feel bad for most of the enemies trying to kill me right now, because it's not going to happen. And this is why Demon's Tail can be awesome. That is actually crazy. Is there a tinted rock in this room? I don't believe so. Where are you? Where the fuck? There you are. Die! Okay. Sure thing. Fuck, dude, they got obliterated. Thanks, flies. There was a tinted rock. Fortunately, I had to backtrack anyway. Tinted rock. So it's worth noting Demon's Tail actually decreases the chance of all hearts dropping, not just red hearts. And then basically, I think it replaces all hearts, or like 99% of hearts, with black hearts. So, tinted rocks are generally worse with Demon's Tail, but obviously anything that would give you red hearts is immediately better, unless you need red hearts, which is possible, but not likely. Not very often are you in a run of Isaac and you're like, man, I could really go for some red hearts right now. It's not impossible. It's not like it never happened. It's just not really a thing that goes on, you know? Anyway. Doom, 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 doom. Cool, 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 cool. All right. Okay. So, I mean, this run's clearly a victory. What I'm looking for is more shit that makes it fun. Soy milk would be sweet as fuck. I'd love a soy milk. I'd love a multi-shot effect. Monster's Lung would also be cool. I could go for some Ipecac plus Dr. Fetus. Only the combination of both would make me comfortable. Because either one on their own would be a nightmare. Click, 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 click. So I've been thinking of possible ways that I can reduce the clicky sounds of my keyboard in these videos. And I know a lot of people say that they like it, or just, you know, don't even notice it and shit. And that's awesome. Personally, I don't notice it at all. But that's because I've been using a mechanical keyboard for a number of years. The best way that I've come up with is like... I don't even know. Honestly, I'm not sure. It's really hard. Because, like, my desk doesn't really lend itself well, you know, to things being in different positions than they currently are. Damn, I really was hoping that would be it. So it's difficult because of the desk, and then it's also difficult because of the mic, because the mic is real sensitive. Which is good. I prefer to have a more sensitive mic than the opposite, because, you know, if a mic is super sensitive, that means that, you know, shit won't get, like, I guess, lost in translation. It won't sound like I'm trying to fucking... I'm like a 1980s jet pilot trying to call you through fucking, I don't know, dial-up or something. I've heard some really bad microphones in in my day. Or like, fuck. It's from Star Wars, I think. Hang on. There's like some, like, robot in some movie that's like, I can't do it well. It's like, it makes kind of like, you know, the start of the dial-up noise, and then it like immediately stops it, and then starts it again. It's from Star Wars, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. But like that. I've actually heard somebody whose microphone sounded like that. I was playing Dota 2, and it sounded exactly like that. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't speak Star Wars droid. I apologize. And then I also played with a guy who legitimately, I probably could have heard him better if he literally took a tin can with a string and tied the string around a USB cable that was plugged into his computer. That would have probably sounded better than his microphone ended up sounding. It was just horrendous. It didn't even sound like a human being on the other end. I don't understand how people can have such awful microphones. Like, I don't know. You can get like a fucking $5 microphone from Walmart that sounds better than most microphones I hear people using. Mine is like a $40 thing. Standalone mic. Because I decided to, you know, finally cave and get a standalone. Because headsets were getting a bit expensive. I still use a headset to listen, I just don't use the headset mic. Because the mics are always the first thing to go on the headset, which kind of makes sense because for some reason headset makers are like, let's make microphones as flimsy as possible and have one single fucking wire on the inside connecting the mic to the rest of the headset. And then you just use it for like 3 days and the mic just fucking stops working entirely. No sound even goes through. So yeah, I caved, got a standalone mic. It's good. It has its own problems, but better. At the very least, it works, which is better than I can say for a lot of the headsets I've used. It works, and also it's like way cheaper than a headset. Headsets nowadays, by the way, are fucking not cheap, man. Mostly because everybody wants their like next level gaming headset. No, just give me something that fucking lets me talk and not sound like a stupid robot. Like, I don't need fucking surround sound, like, I don't need any of that shit. Just give me a fucking headset, alright? That's all I ask for. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please be sure to leave a like. It does help me out a great deal. And subscribe if you haven't already so you can see more Isaac in the future. And, I mean, that's it. You know, that's the outro. This is the part of the outro where I ramble for a bit, generally talking about how bad my outro was, and then say something kind of irrelevant and like breaking down the fourth wall about the outro, and then clicking the stop recording button, and then masturbate.